Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack a truly fascinating concept. We're going on a journey today, and it starts with a seemingly mundane micro interaction. The kind of fleeting moment you probably experience every single day. And we're going to trace it all the way up to, well, the macro concept of world peace. Yeah, no, you heard that right. We are literally connecting the dots between a simple thank you and global harmony, all based on a profound piece of philosophical writing we're exploring today. But before we jump to world peace, I gotta ask you a question. How do you receive someone's kindness? Like, think about it. When a stranger goes out of their way for you, or an acquaintance does something unexpectedly nice, what actually goes through your head? Do you just say thanks and move on? Or do you kind of start trying to interpret it? Do you wonder, why were they so nice to me specifically? We all have this internal mechanism for decoding daily interactions, right? And understanding how we interpret these unexpected acts of kindness is the very first step in our journey today. So, to ground this, let's look at a highly relatable experience shared by the author. Section 1. A small incident at reception. The source material describes this very specific, really quiet moment. Someone simply brought a file to the author at a reception desk. That's literally it. But almost instantly, the human brain kicks into gear and steps right into the overthinking trap. The author actually notes their own internal monologue here. They weren't wearing earphones. Out of all the people here, they came straight to me. Wait, do they have feelings for me? Are we soulmates? It's such a funny, totally human tendency to immediately try and construct a romantic or at least a highly special narrative out of tiny situational details. We take a totally meaningless data point, like someone not wearing earphones, and try to build an entire story around it. And this brilliantly illustrates an absolutely crucial psychological tool, cognitive decoupling. It's like separating a giant puzzle into its actual pieces. We have the verified fact, right? Your genuine happiness that they came over. That is undeniably real. But then we have the unverified assumption that they must romantically like you. The author argues that we've got to teach ourselves to separate our factual emotional response from our unverified assumptions about the other person. You can fully experience the pure joy of the interaction without needing to, lock the other person into a totally made-up narrative in your head. So if it's not necessarily a grand romantic gesture, where does this unexpected kindness actually come from? Well, this brings us to Section 2, accumulation of gratitude and behavior. The author suggests that this single act of kindness at reception might actually be a delayed echo of your own accumulated daily behaviors. Saying thank you naturally, making genuine eye contact, not interrupting when others speak, not taking a bad mood out on completely unrelated people. Now, these aren't some grand sweeping gestures, right? They're quiet, consistent, daily disciplines. And over time, doing these small things creates a sort of atmosphere around you. It builds a safe environment and lasting trust. People notice when you don't treat others carelessly, and honestly, that impression lingers, even when you aren't in the room. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it redefines a massive concept. Look at this quote. Love is not just about big confessions. It appears in the quiet attitude of not treating people carelessly. We are so conditioned by movies to think of love as this dramatic, life-altering event. But the source material asks us to consider that your daily attitude and tone speak way louder than explicit words. The way you carry yourself, the respect you show in the everyday mundane moments, that is love in its most practical, everyday form. Recognizing that quiet love is powerful also requires us to navigate our interactions carefully. Which brings us to Section 3, separating kindness from assumptions. When we feel we're receiving affection or special treatment, it's totally vital to maintain emotional distance. Accepting kindness exactly as it is leads to a stable mind. You appreciate it, and you move on. Simple as that. The alternative? Urgently trying to figure out what it means. And that just causes mental fatigue. By not rushing to the whole "do they like me" conclusion, we preserve the pure joy of the kindness without exhausting our minds with manufactured expectations. Seriously, it saves so much mental energy. And this mental discipline actually lays the foundation for a much deeper philosophy. Let's look at Section 4, choosing correct love. So the crucial point here is understanding what the author calls correct love. Respecting human dignity, and wishing for the happiness of others, even those who do not offer you special favor or relevance. This is key. Correct love is not a transaction. It's not some VIP reward you reserve only for people who are nice to you. It is a deeply held internal standard of behavior. You choose to act this way because of who you are, not because of what someone else can do for you. This becomes incredibly clear when things get difficult.
Just imagine facing a rude or malicious person. I mean, we've all been there. The instinctive reaction is to snap back, to seek revenge, to, show them who's boss. But the correct love action is entirely different. You create distance and you refuse to reflect their malice. You choose not to destroy their dignity. Actually, wait, let me rephrase that. You refuse to stoop to their level, not because they deserve your kindness, but because you absolutely refuse to compromise your own internal standard of how you treat human beings.
Now, we really need to be crystal clear here, because this is easily misunderstood. Showing respect to everyone does not mean being a doormat. Equal love means setting healthy boundaries while maintaining human respect. You can absolutely say no, create physical and emotional distance, and protect yourself, for sure. What you want to avoid is self-sacrifice, where you just endure abuse under the guise of being nice, which honestly only builds hidden, toxic resentment. Correct love empowers you to walk away from toxicity without resorting to demeaning behavior yourself. Let's move along and see how this builds, because we are taking a massive leap right now. Section 5. The connection to world peace. Okay, so how on earth do we get from a reception desk to global harmony? Well, through a chain reaction. Step 1. You make the invisible choice to treat someone with unconditional respect, even if they didn't earn it. Step 2. Because of your action, their mood lightens, their stress drops, they carry that lighter feeling with them. And step 3, later that day, carrying less stress, they unexpectedly speak kindly to a total stranger. You just initiated a transmission of love. It's like a domino effect. This quiet choice creates a powerful ripple effect that extends way beyond your initial interaction, touching people you will literally never even meet. The author states this beautifully. Draw a line at dangerous actions, but never draw a line at human value. This absolutely connects that small desk to the other side of the world. Because if we only extend our humanity to those who are good to us, or, those who look and think like us, our wish for peace becomes dangerously conditional. True peace requires us to condemn harmful behaviors while simultaneously refusing to strip anyone of their fundamental human worth. And that brings us to this profound concluding thought. World peace starts with looking someone in the eyes at the reception desk. It is just absolutely mind-blowing to see how this entire micro to macro journey comes full circle. The grandest concepts we can possibly imagine for humanity, they don't start in giant international summits. They start in the seemingly invisible, mundane choices we make in our everyday routines. So, I want to leave you with this final challenge based on our explainer today. What small, invisible choice will you make in your next interaction today? Will you decouple your assumptions from the facts? Will you choose to practice correct love? You have the power to start a ripple effect literally right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I highly encourage you to go test this out for yourself today. See you next time.